Okay, in this next assignment, we're going to be taking a look at Google Spreadsheets. So if you go into your Drive folder and you click on your Google Drive unit and then go down to assignment number 7, you'll see that I already have a spreadsheet in there for you. So you just need to open it up. Now when you open it up, it's in a read-only format. Okay, you won't be able to do any type of data work on it unless you make a copy. So you're going to go up to File and make a copy. Okay. When you do that, this is your copy to work in. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look, and this is our actual data from our class. So we have student A through S. They took your names out. We have Guam rate. Okay. So this is the rate that you type at. And then we have our accuracy that goes along with it. Okay, so we're going to take a look at some of these numbers. We're going to find the minimum and the maximum, the average. We're going to do some conditional formatting, and we're going to do a chart to display our data. So before we get into that, if you've never worked with Google Spreadsheet or Microsoft Excel, the letters up above represent represent columns. So we have column A, column B, and if you click on them, you see columns go down. Okay. The numbers represent our rows. Okay, so we have row 8, row 5. So if I tell you to go to A22, you'd go to A and you'd go down to 22, and this would be cell CELL. That's what these are called. Each one of these rectangles is called a cell. So if I said go to cell A22, it would be right here. If I said go to cell D10, it would be right here. Okay, so in cell A22, we're going to type the word min, M-I-N, and then we're going to just hit enter, and we're going to go down to cell A23, and we're going to write max. We're going to write enter, and then in cell A24 we're going to write in average, A-V-E-R-A-G-E. Okay, so we're going to find the minimum, the maximum, the average. Now the cool thing about Google Spreadsheets is they allow you to use formulas. Formulas allow you to do things a lot more quickly, crunch numbers in a quick fashion. So we're going to find the minimum number. So in order to do that, in order to use a formula, you have to start out by hitting the equal sign. Now the equal sign, if you find backspace, is just the key to the left. It's the same. It has a plus and an equal sign on it. So if we hit equals and then actually type in min, you'll see that these formulas come up. So I'm going to hit min, and then it needs a set of data to take a look at. So I'm going to click on cell B20, and I'm going to click and drag all the way up, okay, until I go to B2. And you'll see it's right here. So it's going to find the minimum number from cell B2 to B20. I hit enter, and it shows up right here. So our minimum number was 2. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with max. I'm going to hit my equal sign. I'm going to start typing in max, and there's our maximum number. Now again, we click the same data, okay, B20 up to B2, and hit enter. You see our max is 44 Guam per minute. And then we're going to do the same thing with average. So I hit equal, I hit start typing in average, and you see it comes up already. I click on average, and then I need to select my data, click and drag, and we hit enter. Kablam. Now this is a big old number here. We can make this number a little bit more manageable. I'm going to go up and make sure format and number, it's on automatic already, which is great. So I should just be able to hit, if I click on cell B24, I should be able to hit this, and this should take down some of our decimal places. And you see that each time I hit it, if I hit it one more time, is it going to round it? It rounds it to 15.5. So let's just round it to 15.5. So our average in the class is 15.5 words per minute. Now the cool thing about this is we don't have to go through that whole process again. Watch what I do here. So I'm just going to click, and see how my cursor changes to kind of a bullseye. If I click and drag here, it automatically does it for me. So I'll do that one more time for you. So my cursor goes from here. If I put it in the top bottom right corner, you see it goes to a kind of a crosshairs. I can click, And that just is going to copy the formula. It doesn't copy any of my data. It copies the formula. And I'm going to go up here and I want to make sure that it's centered so it's easy to read. Okay. So that's a cool way of doing that. Okay, so now we have our minimum. So our minimum percentage accuracy in the class was 64. Our maximum was 93. And our average in the class is 80.5. So this would be an average student. 15.5 words per minute, Guam, and 80.5 accuracy. There's our average right there. Okay, so we're not done yet. We're gonna actually copy. So I'm gonna click and I'm gonna drag all the way down. And I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to go down to sheet number 2. Now let's say you don't have a sheet 2, you would hit the plus right here and it's going to add a sheet. But I'm going to hit a sheet number 2 and I'm going to go up to cell A1 and I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste in my data. So there's my data again. Now I'm going to spread these out. So if I put my cursor so it changes to 2 directions, I like to spread these out just a little bit. So now we're going to do some conditional formatting, okay? Because I want to take a look at this data and see who's passing and who's not. Remember, I want you to be above 25 words per minute by the time we take our final test. So just looking at this, I could probably go through and look at it, but there's an easier way that I want to do this. So I'm going to click and drag down here. So I'm going to highlight all my data, okay? So from B2 down to B20. I'm going to go up to Format. And I'm going to go down to conditional formatting. So conditional formatting, we're going to basically give the data a set of rules. Okay, so I want you to click where it says text only, and I want you to put greater than or equal to. So I told you I want you to be at greater than or equal to 25 words. Okay, 25 Guam. So if you are, I want to highlight this data. So we're going to click on text color and we're going to change it to green. Green meaning go, you're all good. Okay. Then I'm going to add another rule. So I'm going to click down on add another rule and I'm going to change from text containing to, let's go less than. Well, let's go less than 25. And we're going to change this to red. And now if I do that, you can see my range is from B2 to B20. That's what we wanted. If I save the rules, if I did this right, it should show up as green meaning 25 or above and red meaning under. So let's do the same thing over here. So I'm going to highlight my data. I'm going to go up to conditional formatting. So I'm going to go to Format, conditional formatting. I'm going to change this again. So I want you guys to be at 90%. So greater than or equal to 90, and we're going to give you a green, and we're going to add another rule, and we're going to change this to less than. We'll change that to 90, and we're going to change our text color to red, okay? Because if you're under 90, I'd like you to be 90 or above. So if we save the rules here, you're going to see that even some of my green ones here aren't quite passing in the accuracy. So it looks like most of us are under that accuracy. Most of us are not quite at 25, but we're getting there. Okay? So that gives you a better representation just looking at it. Who's passing what? Just by looking at it. You don't have to do anything with that data. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to highlight. Actually, we're going to go back to sheet 1. We're going to copy this data again. Okay, we're going to go to sheet 3. Now again, if you don't have a sheet 3, you just click on the plus and it'll add a sheet 3. You're going to go up to cell A1 again and you're going to paste it. So when you paste it in, again, I'm going to move this out a little bit. Just move it. Sorry, mine is lagging a little bit. And then I'm going to take column F and I'm going to extend it out a little bit because I want to put a chart in here that we can take a look at. So the next thing I want you to do is you're going to click into cell F7, okay, F7. And then the next step is we're going to take a look at our Guam rate here. Okay, so we're going to go to Guam. So we're going to click on Insert and we're going to go to Chart. So we're going to chart data. Now we haven't selected any data yet. It says sheet, it just says F7. Well, there's no data in F7, so we're going to click right here on select data range, and it's going to allow us to choose some data. You know what, I'm going to move this out of the way. So I'm going to click and move this out of the way. So I'm going to click and I'm going to go all the way up, and you see it says sheet 3, which is where we're on, B2 to B20, and I press OK, and you'll see our data, it doesn't really look like much. Well, we need to choose a chart. Okay, so when we choose a chart, let's go with a column chart and see if we can make this look better. So that looks okay, not perfect. Ooh, I kind of like this one. So if we look here, it even shows, okay, shows everybody here, shows all of our data. We're not quite done yet, but here's the cool thing about this is we're going to click on insert, and it puts it in for us. Okay, so I can move this around a little bit. I'm going to move it right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a chart title. So I'm going to click on chart title, and I'm going to type in class Guam rate. Excuse me. And I can choose a different color here if I wanted to. You know, maybe I wanted it green. You can see that's what it's going to look like. I can adjust the size. Maybe I want it a little bit bigger. It's in bold right now, so I can take the bold out, or I can leave it in. It's totally up to you. Okay. And it says horizontal axis. Well, what does this represent? These things represent students. I'll put student numbers. Student number. Well, let's just go with students. Students. I'm going to leave it like that. So if I click it, oops, try that again. Students. It says press enter to apply. I guess I need to read. Students. Okay, good. Now we don't have a vertical axis here, and I want a vertical axis. So if I click up here, I can click up to advanced edit, and you'll see I can come up here and it shows some different things, but it shows my horizontal axis. If I click right here, I want to go to left vertical, and I'm going to type in Guam rate, G-W-A-M-N-R-A-T-E. Okay. And then if I update it, you can see that it updates it right here to Guam rate. Okay, which now we know what these numbers represent. So this is 12.5 Guam, 25, 37, and 50. So again, it gives us a better representation of our data. Okay, so this is exactly what I want you to do. Again, there's still more editing that you can do. Kind of the cool thing. Oops, I'm just going to click here. The cool thing is I can also change my background color. So if I wanted to change it to this color, you'll see that it changes the entire. I can change just the color of my bars. So you can really change things up to the way you want it. Okay, I can just change, if I click within the graph, I can change the color of our graph within here. So if I wanted to change that out. So again, a lot of cool things that you can do. When I look at this, man, I want to change that. So maybe I'll change that to a blue color now. It's easier to see. Okay. So you can do a lot of cool things. Again, another way to represent our data. Okay. So please follow what I did here, and hopefully things go well for you.